Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw tips and tricks. Interlocking rings. I've done a lot of videos on it, but this way it's going to be a little bit easier to do them all. I'm going to take an ellipse and make it about that shape, but then I'm going to hit P and put it in the center of the page. I'm going to squeeze it down, make it a little bit narrower, and hit P. Now I'm going to change that item to a 24-point line. I'm going to go to Object, convert the outline to an object, and that way I can left click, right click. Now I'm going to nudge that guy up like that far. And it doesn't really matter how far you nudged it as long as your items don't touch, double touch. Control D and duplicate it, move the center rotation of the center. Sometimes it doesn't look like it is, but it is. I'm going to rotate this 20 degrees. Well, see, that's not enough. So I'm going to make it a little bit fatter, but I need to hit P and bring it back up. Control D and make a duplicate. I don't want it, if you don't hit that X when you move the center rotation, the shape tool will take over. Now I'm going to rotate that 20 degrees. That ought to work. And then a Control D, 40 degrees. And the only reason I'm doing this is I want to make sure that they don't touch. Now I'm going to take this one, I'm going to Control D, but I'm going to make it a negative 20 degrees because I want one on both sides. Now we're not going to use this circle, but I'm going to use it for a reference. So I'm thinking about, I need to cut these two circles out of the way. I don't care if I cut this one, so I'm going to cut this circle right there. So that's going to mess up that circle. I don't really care if it cuts here. So I'm going to go over here, and if this one's going under, this one has to go over. And if this one is going over, this one has to go under. And then if this one is under, I'm going to go ahead and cut it, and it'll be over. Now, I didn't really cut that first one. It was just for reference. I'm going to just nudge that out of the way. I need one more. I don't have enough cuts. So what I'm going to do is Control D to duplicate it. And see, this is where you need the indexing lines because we basically made a new object after we cut it. I'm going to go ahead and rotate it 20 degrees because we made a new object. Now here, I don't care about this circle. I just want to cut this circle. So I'm going to make sure I cut this circle by cutting there. And this one's already cut, so I don't have to worry about it. So now we have two cuts and two rings. If this should work, Control G to group, Control D to duplicate it, and double click and move the center rotation to the center. Now we were rotating at 20, but now we got two rings, so we need to rotate it 40. And see how that worked? Now we can just Control D all the way around. And now all of my rings are interlocking. Now, what I can do is take the Smart Fill tool and fill that in, and then take the blue, make it a darker blue, fill that in, and that in. Now, what I really, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to back up here, and I'm going to group all this together, Control G. It'll be a lot easier to move it out of the way in just a second. So Smart Fill tool, blue, blue, lighter blue, or any color. I'm just picking colors to make it kind of stand out. Now, I can nudge this out of the way or even delete it, but I'm not going to delete it. I am going to Control G to group it, Control D to duplicate it, double click on the rotation and try to put it in the center. Now I can rotate it 40 degrees, and look at that. It's placing the interlocking rings the way they should be. So every one is interlocked in the other one. But I did it, instead of deleting all these lines all the way around, you only have to do a couple, and then you can delete it. I like my original better because it's a little bit closer knit. Anyway, just a thought. Hope that helped. Thank you for watching.